Modern Singapore was founded as a trading post of the East India Company by Sir Stamford Raffles in 1819. Singapore is the world's fourth leading financial center. The World Bank has noted that Singapore is the easiest place in the world to do business. The neoclassical Fullerton Hotel is a luxury 5-star accommodation that was built over the Fort Fullerton site that defended against naval attacks. Singapore has been a part of various local empires since it was first inhabited in the 2nd century AD. The Singapore Flyer is the largest observation wheel in the world, which took 2.5 years to construct at a cost of 240 million Singapore dollars. It is 165 meters high with 28 capsules, each able to hold 28 people. The number 28 was chosen as it represents double prosperity or easy to prosper in the Cantonese language. Having been built with precision wind engineering, the wheel allows an ultra-smooth 32-minute revolution with fantastic views. Champagne dinners can be reserved inside the capsules, and marriage ceremonies have also been accommodated. The slow movement of the wheel allows passengers to embark and disembark without the need to start and stop its rotation. The Waterside Esplanade is a concert hall which seats 1,600 and a theater with a capacity of 2,000 for the performing arts. The hall's reverberation chamber has the volume of 4 Olympic-sized swimming pools. With its cladding of aluminum sunshades, its appearance has been compared to a durian fruit. Being one of the world's busiest art centers, the programs cater to all audiences with community access, artist collaborations, and international productions. The Merlion is a mythical creature with the head of a lion and the body of a fish. This symbol has been trademarked since 1966 for Singapore, with the fish body representing Singapore's origin as a fishing village. Made from cement and porcelain plates, the Merlion stands 8.6 meters or 28 feet high and weighs 70 tons. The military had set up at Singapore Harbour the day that we went there. The Singapore Army exposes every fighting unit to full-scale, intense war scenarios several times per year. French and US helicopters are used by the Army for medium and heavy transport plus attack strategies. Sites both on land and sea can be explored using amphibious vehicles which were originally used in the Vietnam War. Built in 1887, the Raffles Hotel is one of the world's most famous, known for its luxurious accommodation and superb dining. The popular Singapore Sling cocktail drink was invented here and served to famous patrons such as Ernest Hemingway and Somerset Maugham. Gigantic ferns here on this side of the Raffles Hotel. There's a beautiful Lamborghini just pulled in here. Singapore has the highest number of US dollar millionaires, with 1 in every 6 households having more than $1 million in disposable income. Okay, we're just in the subway station now, and we're going to Little India right now on the Marina Bay subway. Little India is an ethnic neighborhood in Singapore where Tamil immigrants moved when the city's Chulia Kampong segregation became overcrowded. Serangoon Road is the main thoroughfare which has food and other goods specific to the Tamil culture. Several mosques and other places of worship can be found in Little India. Sri Veeramakaliamman Temple was constructed in 1881 as Singapore had 13,000 Indians at this time. The temple served to provide a secure place for immigrants in a strange land. By the turn of the century, temple donations made it possible to engage a full-time priest. During World War II, many took refuge here during air raids and were safe as the temple remained unscathed. It was easy to imagine as though we were in India as we became immersed in these unfamiliar surroundings. Many of the finely made statues arrived from India. The Sri Srinivasa Perumal Temple dates from 1855 and was built in an area once filled with ponds and vegetable gardens. The 20-meter Gopuram Gate was built in 1966 at a cost of 300,000 Singapore dollars. Beautifully sculpted statuary with pastel coloration is found internally and externally at the temple. Devotees perform simple rituals before beginning their worship. Nestled relatively close to Singapore's downtown is the famous Arab Street. It provides Middle Eastern people and all others a place to shop, dine, and congregate. So this is a shisha pipe store here. Arab Street has brightly colored shop facades crafted in beautiful architecture that is a sharp contrast to modern Singapore. The Sultan Mosque dominates one end of Arab Street. It's incredible. So the whole theme is a cathedral design. This carpet here is from Saudi Arabia. It was actually donated from the Sultan King of Saudi Arabia. So the scrolls on the top here are in Arabic. The island of Sentosa in Singapore is a distinctly tourist-oriented attraction offering at least a full day of activities. Most people arrive at Sentosa Island either by tram or gondola. We're just going to head over to Sentosa Island now and spend the day there. The Singapore cable car provides a convenient link between Mount Faber and Sentosa Island. Having opened in 1974, it was the first aerial ropeway system to span a harbor. You can look right down on the deck of the ship here, For a week in 2004, 34 two-man teams attempted a challenge to see who could survive the longest in a cable car for 24 hours a day. The Hawaii Five-0 television show used the cable car for filming, and it also transported the Miss World pageant contestants in 1989. The Sky Tower at Sentosa has a 72-person capacity and is sponsored by the local Tiger Beer Company. We shared a ride to the historic Fort Siloso with a rather animated soldier known as Private Baxter. Not really.
Well, sit back, relax and enjoy the tram ride to Fort. Yeah? 1970s? Did you say 1970s? Isn't this the 1885?
No, this is 2009.
What? 2009?
Yeah.
Huh? Yes. Oh no! I missed my boat to Siloso Jetty, but my friend told me I could take this bus to Fort Siloso. By the way, my name is Private Baxter from the Royal British Artillery. Hi, sir.
Hi.
I'm looking for my commanding officer, Sergeant Major Cooper. Have you seen anyone in military uniform like me? No? No. Have you, sir?
Have you seen anybody?
I'm from the cave. No, I'm not from the cave. I'm a soldier.
One of the earliest types of guns used here at the fort. On our left is a pair of blue naval guns used by the Japanese during the Second World War. They were salvaged from the forested areas of Mandai Hills.
The fort defended against sea invasion from the south, but the guns were turned 180 degrees in World War II to defend Japanese land invasions.
Okay, why is it called 9.2-inch BL gun?
Fort Siloso has Singapore's largest collection of World War II memorabilia.
Generation, okay? So this is trench mortars they call it, alright?
During the Japanese occupation, Fort Siloso was used as a prisoner of war camp. The guides explain in great detail exactly what transpired historically in Singapore.
Make our way inside the Japanese occupation room. This will tell us more about what happened to Singapore. But before they make their way down, the Japanese Commander General Yamashita went up the Johor's palace, Sultan's palace.
Vivid portrayals of British and Japanese surrender have been recreated with wax figures.
General Yamashita, he's the one who planned the whole, invasion of Singapore.
Underwater World is a unique oceanarium with 2,500 marine creatures of 250 species from around the region. Shallow rock ray pools permit visitors to have a literal hands-on experience. Time seemed to dissolve away as we watched the mesmerizing sea life activity before us. 30 million visitors have experienced this exhibit since it opened in 1991. Underwater World is committed to the conservation and breeding of marine life through active involvement in several environmental projects. It was amazing to view jellyfish up close and observe their majestic movement and vibrant colors. A travelator moves you through an 83-meter acrylic tunnel, allowing views of coral, stingrays, sharks, and much other sea life. The Dolphin Lagoon features 4 shows spaced evenly throughout the day. Enthusiastic crowds are entertained by these beautiful pink marine mammals. There is usually someone pulled from the audience for some interaction with the dolphins. Many choose to relax at Palawan Beach on Sentosa Island, which invites to cool off from Singapore's scorching heat. Singapore is located just a single degree north of the equator, and we could feel the temperature intensify as high noon approached. Across this bridge here is the southernmost part of continental Asia. It's a long way across the bouncy, squeaky rope bridge to get to the serene, shaded island, which is complete with a lookout tower. We traded the vivacious bustle of the other Sentosa attractions for a laid-back rest here. Which one? A 37-meter tall Merlion towers over the Sentosa Island Resort Park. Tourists can ascend the Merlion and look out from the mouth to get a view of the surroundings. The Images of Singapore attraction was created to provide visitors with an understanding of Singapore history and tradition. It is an enormous display of cultural depiction which is almost exhausting to absorb in its entirety. The account of Singapore's history is so complete here, one could get a complete understanding of the country's past from it. Some depictions can be hard to interpret if you don't have time to read all the posted information. We felt an appreciation for this country's diversity of race and religion, seeing it all encapsulated in one place at Images of Singapore. We left Sentosa Island after a full day there, intent on an early start the next day to see more attractions. Singapore's Jurong Bird Park, one of the world's largest, is conveniently located near a metro station. It is the world's largest bird park in terms of the number of birds at 5,000, representing 380 species. The Flamingo Lake within Jurong Park is home to 1,001 of these beautiful birds. A modern amphitheater in the park is used for outdoor shows. As with most other attractions in Singapore, a solid effort has been put forth to make the park something of great quality.
This is the world's largest walk-in aviary here.
Lorry Loft is 9 stories high and 2/3 the size of a football field, with over 1,000 free-flying lorries.
There's Karina over there.
Dr. Goh Swee, the Minister of Finance for Singapore, visited a free-flight aviary while in Rio de Janeiro at a World Bank meeting and decided to replicate it in Singapore. The Dino Descendants display details the link which has been discovered between dinosaurs and birds, plus offers pretend archaeological digging. The park has a section that has been reserved for flightless birds. Pelican Cove allows visitors to view 7 different species of this bird, including the endangered Dalmatian type. The underwater viewing gallery allows onlookers to watch the pelicans scoop fish at feeding time.
This is an indoor aviary containing the largest man-made waterfall in the world.
The African Wetlands is an ecosystem display showing how nature, birds, and men coexist. Haw Par Villa is a large area of artistic sculpting in resin which details both history and folklore. The park was created by the well-known Tiger Balm Company in 1937 for the purpose of teaching Chinese traditional values. The name Haw Par is a merge of the names of the two brothers called Ah Boon Haw and Ah Boon Par, who inherited the formula for the Tiger Balm inflammation-relieving medicine. There are over 1,000 statues and 150 dioramas throughout Haw Par Villa. Scenes from the classic Chinese novel Journey to the West have been included in the park sculptings. Even the terrain itself that surrounds these creations has been carefully sculpted to present a more immersive look. It's like observing a frozen mix of both true representation and bizarre fantasy at the same time. Creating just one of these fabulous scenes would be an immensely enormous task, let alone having to complete the several acres worth that comprise the park.
This is advertising the night show for the animals here.
We traveled a short distance from the city for an evening at the popular night safari.
So we're just at the night safari here. We're waiting to get on the tram here.
We were unable to photograph the animals on the night safari in their dimly lit environments.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Good evening. Welcome to Creatures of Night presentation.
The Creatures of the Night show introduces visitors to the behavior of nocturnal animals. Unexpectedly, a civet traversed overhead on a rope above the audience.
Which enables them to climb trees and hang from branches effortlessly. Sorry about that, everybody. Have a seat. Have a seat. We found her. See, you're from Singapore. Singapore. Ladies and gentlemen, come on, get up on straight from Singapore.
People from the audience are pulled into the show at random, making it all the more amusing.
Okay, why y'all clapping? Okay, so have a feel of Maggie. Don't squeeze her. You wouldn't like it if she squeezes you. Yes, right over here. Just touch her right over here. You're doing fine. My goodness, this man's ladies and gentlemen, come on, give it up for the man. I'm a local. You're a local. You're a Singaporean. Are you married? Okay, first sensitive, yeah. Okay, come here. Sniff, sniff. Thinking, thinking. Sniff, sniff. Sniff, sniff, sniff. You either tap. Come here. Don't cheat. Sniff, sniff, tap. Okay, very good. Open your hands and you get a grade. Good friends, stand right over here so everybody on that side can see you. Now this is Tonga and Aziza. You want to say hello? With holes, with their long four paws, digging for the egg. Thank you very much. To them, how you dig? Good girl. Thank you, Smokey. Show everybody how high you can jump. Yes, ladies and gentlemen. Hopping mom, hopping mom. Alright, come on, let's go to Maggie. It's an animal, not a nice trail.
So they used Karina as an example here in the audience for her shoes.
Very good. And then the paper cup. Where do you put it, Felix? Yes, in the paper cup department. And then the
The Thumbuakar show is an entertaining and rambunctious cultural demonstration. These performers are fast, accurate, confident, and able to have fun at the same time. Incredibly, 4 natives were hopping airborne, with another native balanced trustingly atop a cross of rotating poles. The transfer of flames between fire breathers was something we'd never seen before. The 10,000 Buddha Pagoda houses the large Vairocana prayer wheel.
This is a revolving Buddhist prayer wheel here. There are 10,000 Buddha little miniature statues here in this hall, this part of this complex.
The Buddha Tooth Relic Temple is based on the Tang Dynasty traditions. The temple cost $62 million and is an exhibit of the various facets of Singaporean religious arts and culture. We witnessed part of a service being conducted and felt almost as though we were imposing on it. The museum houses what Buddhist leaders regard as the sacred Buddha tooth relic in a stupa composed of 320 kilograms of gold, all of which has been donated by devotees. The museum has a mandate to collect, research, and exhibit Buddhist artifacts, plus explain the story and meaning of each. The temple prides itself on the sufficient research having been conducted in order to ensure accuracy and authenticity in the design and monuments found here. Queen Street is one of the oldest streets in Singapore and once had a very strong Eurasian presence. The area is an excellent place to shop for fresh produce. The bustling markets are an excellent place to use your bargaining skills. The Sri Krishnan Temple was built in the 1870s by Hanuman Beam in order to cater to the large Hindu community that had established itself in the area. The neighboring Kwan Im Thong Hud Cho Temple had many Chinese devotees lighting joss sticks at Sri Krishnan Temple, so an altar dedicated to Guan Yin was built within the temple's grounds. We stumbled upon a unique looking set of apartments near Queen Street. Orchard Road is a 2.2 kilometer long street that is the retail and entertainment hub of Singapore. Orchard Road got its name from the nutmeg, pepper, and fruit orchards which were at one end of it in the 1800s. The road was a two-way thoroughfare for more than a century and became a one-way street in 1974.
So we're just in Chinatown now. We just got off the MRT.
Wang Dayuan, also known as Temasek, visited Singapore in 1330 and recorded that there was a large Chinese community, making Singapore one of the oldest Chinatowns. The street architecture of Chinatown's buildings combine different elements of Baroque and Victorian styles. In 1843, Sir Stamford Raffles appropriated land by leasing or granting it in parcels for the building of homes and shophouses for what is now Chinatown. This pedestrian mall transforms into a night market after dark.